But this month's Under the Spotlight, I'm here with Mark Holmes to check out a brand new range of luggage from Chub. Looks rather posh, Mark.
It does, doesn't it, Joe? I must admit, it's. I was quite surprised they sent it to an old scuffer like me, to be honest, when it turned up. But I must admit, it ticks all the boxes, Joe. Affordability is different to something being cheap. When I first started in this game, people would buy on a price, and they would be governed by that. Things are getting hard, everybody's skint at the moment, so the reality is that it's got to be affordable. And without giving it too much of a promo, yeah, I'm sponsored by Hardy Grays, who own Chub, so, you know, I'm bound to say that. But anybody who knows Mark Holmes knows that the kit that I use has to be something that I believe in. And I'm telling you, this stuff is good kit. Dead easy to remember, just think of Advantage, because it gives you an advantage, but drop the AD. But the reality is that it's aimed at, as I said, the affordable market. So it covers from entry level right up to your experienced carp angler. There's 3 sizes. I'm only showing you 2 today because we don't want to be repeating ourselves. But you've literally got a 50 litre bag, you've got a 70 litre bag, and you've got the big 90 litre bag. And the important features to me are simple. These days, everybody barrows around, everybody walks around, so you've got to fit 2 things. First of all, I've got to be able to carry it. So I've got a nice padded strap, which is brilliant, detachable, so it comes off if you want it off, and then you think, me barrow. It's got the straps there, so it can go on your barrow. The other thing as well is accessibility. I've got to be able to get at stuff. When people say to me, Holmesy, why do you use a carry-all as opposed to a rucksack? Primarily it's because of access for entry. When we're in as bivvy, these things tend to get put in corners, they tend to put at the side of a bed chair, and we've all done it. You've got your bed chair laid out, you're leaning over to trying to get in it. If you've got a rucksack there, you can't get down. Where do I go? Where do I go? When you've got this, you've got it all in front of you, Joe. So if you can see there, I've got my tackle boxes in. You tip it up so we can see it. Got all my tackle boxes in there. Got my tackle box in here. I've got my scales and everything that I need there. My sacks here. It basically covers all the things that I need.
Pretty well padded as well, isn't it?
It is well padded, Joe, yeah, and there's little extras in, you know, like you've got internal pockets in here, you've got internal pockets in there, so there's plenty of space. But as I said, the thing that I like about it is the fact that it's accessible. And excuse me for being an anorak for a second, but in a former life I used to work in a textile trade, and one of the things that always used to get me are zips. And let me tell you, when we go through the luggage, one thing that kills people when it comes to their fishing products are the zips, because it's the zips that always go first.
Yep.
And the reality is because they go first, because it's a poor quality zip. This is not a poor quality zip, and what I mean by that is that if you look at the teeth on the zip, it's very close. Also the tags, I like that. The little points.
Okay, what else have we got in the range there, Mark?
Well, we've also got, so we've got the luggage, which is the carry-all. We've got the small things in there, like I said, so we've got another size bag as well, but they've also got quite a detailed rod hold all, sling, individual quiver system, which I want to show you as well, Joe.
Well, it looks to me like you've got pretty much every style of rod hold going here.
Yeah, I do actually fish with 9 rods at a time, Joe. But anyway, seriously, no, we've got in this Vantage range, they've got the various different types of rod systems. And again, without getting overcomplicated, Joe, you know yourself, if you're going to go for a few hours, you don't want to be carting around a huge hold all. Conversely, if you're in the car and you're going for a few days and you've got a lot of gear in the car, you want to protect the rods. And whatever anybody says, a conventional hold all that encloses everything is going to keep your rods, your line and your reels more protected, knocked about in the car. This is the big one, and this is the one that I use. This is the 5 rod one, so basically without being silly, I have my 4 rods in and I've got my marker rod in there. I want to quickly show you some of the features. One of the things that strikes you straight away is how compact it is, and one of the things I do like is that it's something that is big, but it's something that even a weako like me can carry easily. It's all enclosed in, so if I'm not barrowing, if I've got a bag or a rucksack in my hand, I can still put all my gear in here and it's all protected by the weather. So that's the first thing. The second thing moving out, which is a real important feature to me, is when they asked for my input on it, I said the first thing we want to do is we want a top pocket that actually takes my bivvy. So in there is my bivvy. So it's not sticking out of the top like a quiver. I can put a top on it, and so it's protected.
Fantastic.
So that's the first thing. Obviously we've got the conventional pockets on the side for your bank sticks and your throwing sticks and all the rest of it. But the real boom of this is when you get inside it. System's pretty straightforward. It's actually like a two-pronged system. You've got the top and you've got the bottom, and you've got dividing zips there. So one zip goes over for the top and one zip for the bottom. It's attached quite easily by the sides here, so when I unclip them, it's actually an individual system. We all fish big pit reels these days. Most of us are fishing open waters now where you need a big pit reel, and I think that you've got to actually now have a rod hold all that can take it. This one can quite easily, and you can see here, and this is an important point, Joe, and I'm not, you know, I'm not the most mechanically minded or engineering type guy, but it's important. You see the zip here, it's got this little sleeve on here, and what that does is it keeps the teeth of the zip away from your line. 95% of the time we put our rod away made up, we get it out made up. So that little sleeve there, what it does is it simply goes over. As you pull it in there, you can see it starting to tighten. You get the line, you put it underneath there and you zip it up. And there you can see quite clearly that what it's doing is it's simply protecting the line from getting caught up in the teeth. I hear people sometimes zipping them up and I can see the line getting caught and I'm thinking, oh God, you know, even with braid. So that's an important point. Another little feature as well.
I was going to say, I noticed them little pockets on the side.
Them little pockets there, Joe. I know it's a bit anorakish, a bit anal, but I keep my leads in.
That's great, because I mean at the end of the session I normally end up with them in my pockets.
Well, one of the things is, Joe, as well, is that if you think about it realistically, why would anybody want a full hold all that I'm talking about? It's all to do with protection. And one of the ways of protecting an hold all is by taking the leads off, because if you've got your lead ready made up inside an hold all, it's going to be bouncing about. You can put a band down and all the rest of it, but the reality is that lead bouncing about can damage either your line or it can knock your rod about. So the reality is, let's just have a little pocket there. And again, what I like about it is, you can see, I've got a distance lead and I've got a dung bomb. So you can put 3 or 4 leads in there.
Yeah.
Again, very heavy duty zips, very clean, 2 straps, pretty straightforward. Round it comes. Got a carrying strap as well, just to help you get it in and out of the car. And we've got the strap on the side. And that's called the 5-star hold all. And they do a 3-rod version as well. Not a 4-rod version, a 3-rod. So there's 3 rods and there's a 5-rod version. Right, Joe, we've got various sleeves as well within the range. Sort of common garden sleeve that goes into a quiver. Got a large pouch at the bottom, so the big pit reel goes in okay. I put a little protector on the bottom, just so it fits in snugly. And we'll show you the quiver in a second. But that's sort of, you can buy those individually. So if you've got 8 or 9 rods, but you've just got your 1 quiver system which takes 4, you can keep them. You can keep your 8 or 9 rods in these individually, and take them and put them back in your quiver system as and when you want.
Brilliant.
Because one of the things about the system as well, which is important for people to understand, is it's very much compatible. On the quiver systems, not the old oil system, on the quiver systems, the individual spod covers and the individual rod covers can be fit into the system as and when you want them.
Fantastic.
So they're sold individually. So there's that one there. Again, little tweaks, lead pocket there. It's pretty straightforward. Drop a few leads in. You can even put a few hooks in and stuff, you know. So there's that one there. There's a spod version, Joe, which is literally, you can see with the top on there, which is reinforced. So that's if you want to afford yourself a little bit more protection. And again, pretty straightforward. Okay, the other thing as well, Joe, is, you know, mobile angler, everybody's on about it these days. Oh, you got to move 9 times in a day, all that nonsense. The reality is, if you're going to move 9 times in a day, you need to move quickly, don't you? So a quiver is what a lot of people want. Simple, straightforward quiver. What I like about this little features is there's individual tubes at the bottom. If I take one out there, you can see.
That's a good idea.
You can make it so that it stands, but it allows it to sit in straight. Nice and tight. You got 3-rod version. I've got my gear on the side. Got my overnight brolly in there, which is at storm side, so I can easily do 2 nights in it. Got my landing net on the shoulder. Job done. Nice and mobile. So we like that one as well, Joe. And finally, we come on to the individual quiver system. And I want to spend a little bit of time just showing you as to why you wouldn't want the tubes at the bottom. Remember I mentioned the thing about the individual tubes? Well, you don't have them if you put the rod sleeves in, because if you look down there, Joe, you can see the rod sleeves, when I take them out, are individually fastened in there by being nice and tight.
Yeah, and they've got their own nice padding in there anyway,
Yeah,
haven't they?
they've got their own nice padding in there as well. So you can see again, pretty straightforward. Turn it round, plenty of padding, plenty of pockets. Again, can get me overnight shelter in there, no problem. So as you can see, Joe, in relation to having a full system, this Vantage range definitely covers all bases. It's big and it's quite long to do a review, but the reality is, if you're in for an old haul, it's covered. If you're in for an individual quiver, it's covered. If you're in for what I call a version of the two, which is the quiver and the inserts, that's covered as well.
Yeah, I mean, we're not going through this range saying you need everything. No, everyone's got their own favourites at the end of the day.
Yeah.
And I prefer a normal holder with everything zipped up in there, but I've got plenty of friends that, you know, love these type of things. So, yeah, I think it's all down to personal preference, really.
It is,
isn't it?
very much so, Joe, yeah, very much so.
But it's clear to see that there's been a lot of thought going into it, a lot of attention to detail, and yeah, it looks like great stuff.
Brilliant. Thanks for your time, mate.